Hey, Sam, guess what?
What?
Maybe Ottawa was pretty good after all.
Maybe they were. Well, game one is in the books. Andrew, Canes win it 3-0. What a game that was for Carolina. They proved rest was not rust.
That you really can't script a better start to the series from the Stankoven line picking right up where they left off. Even though they didn't score, I thought this was a much better showing from the Aho line. And Freddie wasn't tested much, but when he was, all that talk about all the pundits giving Vladar the edge in net because he had 2 shutouts in 6 games. Freddie now has 2 in 5.
Exactly. But first, like always, as we begin with every episode, we have a great partnership with SeatGeek. You get $20 off your first purchase if you use promo code Caniac Report, all one word. I'll get there. You'll get $20 off your first purchase if you use that promo code. And here's the thing. As you guys notice, new overlay with what you're seeing on here. You have the listening platforms down below. You have our names down below, our new network names up at the top, and the QR code, which is right above Andrew right there. That is the link for SeatGeek that you can insert the promo code in, as Andrew's doing his fancy hand motions there.
Mara Fawcett would be proud.
Yeah. And also remember, if you're watching us on YouTube, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you never miss another episode. And also, if you're listening to us wherever you get your podcast, please subscribe and leave a rating. It really does help us out. So, Andrew, first period, Canes. I mean, obviously, the biggest thing when it came to heading into this game was Hurricanes had almost a week off. Are they going to be? Is the rest going to be rust? Are they going to be looking flat coming out of this game? Well, first period, they came out looking good.
Yeah, and the new guy in the lineup, Riley. That first shift for him started the whole thing. I loved him putting the puck on net, and Stankoven just the legend continues, man. We need to start talking about this. Granted, it's still early in the playoffs, still a lot that he can do to help this team go. But for a 5-game stretch, one of the greatest runs we've seen from a Hurricanes player ever.
Oh, I completely agree. What a great performance from Stankoven. And it's funny because, like, obviously you had Nikishin. He did not play. You already talked about Riley there. Ultimately, he didn't play, so he had Riley step in. And also on the Philadelphia side of things, you didn't have Owen Tippett playing for them. I think that helped us a little bit because he is a pretty good player. But with Mike Riley, what amazes me about him, Andrew, is he hasn't even had 10 minutes of playoff action this season, and he already had 2 points. That's just crazy.
More points in the second round than Mikko Rantanen, right? So,
yeah,
better than Mikko Rantanen, confirmed. Exactly. I think it's a testament to the job that Tulsky did in this offseason. You know, it wasn't a name that flashed off the page, but we saw early on this season that he just kind of fits. And aside from a little lull in the midseason, I thought every time that Riley's had a chance to play, he has looked like he belongs. So way to step up, man.
Oh, yeah. He stepped up big time. He played excellent. Now, the thing with Riley, the one play that comes to mind ever since we got him is that wraparound goal that he had, I think, against the Islanders. Oh, my gosh. That was such a skillful play from Riley. But regardless, he got 2 assists. Great game for him as he had to substitute in for Nikishin. And Andrew, it looks like Nikishin, I mean, even though he didn't play this game, I'd say there's a good chance he plays the next game because he's very close.
Absolutely, but I think Riley in this game gives you a little bit of comfort, being like, "Hey, you know, there's no reason to mess around with that kind of injury. You know, you only have one life. You got to take care of yourself, especially your brain." So You feel more comfortable if he does need one more game, letting him do it. But just knowing that he was apparently asking Svetch to actually throw some hits on him at
Mhm.
practice, I take it he's feeling pretty good. It's just a matter of making sure that all the medical stuff clears, which again, please do.
Yes, really, please. So obviously Riley steps in that first period, you have Logan Stankoven, like we just mentioned a few seconds ago. He scores, and I mean, not just him, but that whole line, Andrew, is so good. And I think they even presented the stat um, because I think we're at the point where we might be watching the same broadcast. Did you have PK Subban marking
Yeah.
it? Okay. Yeah, we're watching the same broadcasting team. Okay. So what's interesting is with his fifth goal in fifth games, he's now the youngest player in NHL history to go on a goal streak like that. That's just insane.
Yep. Stankoven and Blake, both super young, both locked up for the next 8 years. The way that they've been playing, man, Tulsky, I can't praise this guy enough for the job that he did this offseason, whether it's Stokes to Miller, Ehlers, just everything has hit. Picking up Bussy on waivers, Mike Riley, just everything has hit. And there's still a lot that they need to do. Obviously, this is
Mhm.
only one game. So I think it's important to kind of check ourselves, just because that did feel 3-0 almost feels too close in that game. That was just a dominant game by Carolina for a second round playoff game.
Oh, it definitely was. So you had Stankoven, he scores, and then the Jackson Blake goal. What impressed me about that, Andrew, is he came out. Pardon my French here, for probably people with kids listening to this. Jackson Blake came out like a bat out of hell. He really did. Just zipped through both Philly defenders and just put that puck in. Now, it's funny because during that whole play is he kind of fumbled with the puck a little bit, but he was able to get the rebound and kind of put it in past Vladar. But man, that was such a fast play right there from him.
Yeah, he's really coming into his own. And considering the first handful of games in the Ottawa series, he looked kind of almost afraid of the puck a little bit, or at least afraid of the moment to actually go ahead and shoot the puck and try to score a goal. That's gone, and that's a play you make when you're confident, because to do that just basically through the entire Philly defense, especially with Travis Sanheim being the last man back, who made it to Team Canada. That's a fantastic player. So to score that goal on a red hot goalie going past Sanheim, elite stuff from Blake.
Oh yeah, it definitely is. So it's 2-0 Carolina. But Andrew, as you know, kind of from watching playoff games, even with it being 2-0, Philadelphia's not completely out of the game yet. So 2-0 up early in the first period. First period goes away. Honestly, I would say of all the periods, listen, I understand Hurricanes were dominant in that game. I do think if I had to pick a period, the first period was their best period. I thought.
They definitely converted more. You definitely saw Philly, going to the rest conversation, that this is where the rest does play dividends in
Hmm.
particular, when you consider this being a Olympic year. It's not even like a lot of the star players in these teams even got that week off, because usually it's, you get your one guy going to the All-Star game where it's basically a friendly pickup game. So the rest, I think, really showed, because Philly just looks like a full step slower than Ottawa, who looked a full step slower than us.
I know that's what was really eye opening to me because we finally got to see what Philadelphia plays like against Carolina. Now, I'm sure there are probably Philly fans, but well, that's not really Philly. They lost. Regardless, it's still a playoff game, whether you like it or not. But I mean, I do think there's going to be a little bit more of a pushback probably in game two. I'm expecting a bit more of a pushback, but the way Philadelphia plays is a bit differently from Ottawa because the thing is, with how the roster is constructed, Ottawa had the skill. Philadelphia doesn't, which means 100% of them getting their goals is going to have to be 100% pure work ethic.
Yeah, they're definitely going to want to try to get those dirty goals, which kudos to the Canes defense. Aside from a few, there were a couple moments where I thought Philly didn't do anything egregiously dirty, but just felt kind of like, on the pass by, there were shins, going into like Freddie's head because he was down kind of stuff. I noticed a little bit of that. But if Philly wants to stand a chance in this series, that's what they're going to have to do. You're right, because outside of Zegras and Konechny, and if Tippett can come back, I don't think you really have any real pure goal scorers on the team. Which, I mean, how familiar does that sound? We've been saying that about the Canes, but maybe this is what not having pure goal scorers actually looks like. And maybe we've been underrating a few of our guys.
Yeah, definitely. That's a good point. But I mean, in the second period, Carolina, they make it 3-0 because I can't. Yeah, it was Juleson that turns the puck over in a very bad way for Philly. And it hits, I think, Svechnikov's skate. Either that or Svechnikov saw the puck and he kicked it to Jarvis. It's a 2-on-1, and Stankoven once again, the guy scores. My gosh, just a man possessed to score in every game, it feels like. And it makes it 3-0. Andrew, honestly, when it was 3-0, I was like, I can't see Philadelphia coming back from this. It's kind of like, well, I can't remember who said it on the broadcasting team. It's like a mountain now to try and win this game for Philly.
Yeah, I think Carolina's a team where if you can score one, that's hard enough, but maybe you get them rattled for a second or get them thinking, and then if you pounce immediately, you can get two. We've seen that throughout the season with this team. It's not super common, but that's why I do think a 2-goal lead, you can come back with this team. When it's 3, when Carolina can do their version of parking the bus, which it's not like a lot of teams where they just try to play collapse defense around the net. They just pin you deep and will just cycle the puck in your end. It's actually been a really impressive display of that. It's just a matter of can they start getting a little more goals out of it. But yeah, I think Philly once it got to 3-0, they started doing what I thought they were going to do, which is start getting a little chippy, playing a little bit. There wasn't anything I thought that was significantly dirty outside of the slash on Svech, which since you got your one parlez-vous front saying, I'm going to say it, that was a chicken shit play to slash a guy in the back of the leg like that far away from the puck. But if this is what Philly has to offer, I think you might have called it, man. This might be eight straight wins for Carolina coming up.
Yep, and I knew it. I'm just kidding.
I mean, you're looking smart early.
I am looking smart early. I am. But another thing to want to talk about in the second period, I think we saw the best defensive play that I've seen in such a long time. You probably know what it is. But Garner Hathaway comes in with a breakaway. Rarely happens. I mean, there were a couple of breakaways for Philly. It was Hathaway and I think Couturier were the only players in this game that got breakaways for Philly. But breakaway, and then you see Miller coming almost all the way down, sprinting. I never saw him sprint that fast before, for the record. Never. I don't think I have. But he sprinted so hard, and the way that he landed on his stomach to knock the puck away without committing a penalty, that was just like, oh my gosh, that was jaw-dropping. Honestly, it's funny because you would think 3-0 game, I mean, one of the goals might be jaw-dropping. Nope, that is the play right there that made my jaw drop, Andrew.
Yeah, Miller, he's almost kind of like a more mobile, just not quite as good defensively Slavin. I think they have a lot of similarities in their game. I think you give up maybe a touch of the defense for a little bit more puck moving ability, which I mean you'll take that. But in terms of just his ability with his stick, the stick checking ability, the not taking dumb penalties while doing these poke checks, he's elite at that, man. And I still think that there's a side of his game that he hasn't gotten to that I think we might not even see until next year, which is what's scary.
I know. I mean, we like when it comes to Miller, like when it comes to like not just the playoffs this year, but this regular season. I mean, there are a few moments where I was like, he's a little bit of a roller coaster. Sometimes he can be really, really good, really, really bad. But this playoffs, he's showing to me almost all the time, always good. And that play just showed just how good he can be. And I liked it. He does play a little bit of a similar style to Slavin. It's just he's a bit more of a maybe a tad more of a better skater probably than Slavin, and has a. This is tough. May I won't say has a better reach than Slavin, but it's very close.
I mean, he
Just
might
the reach
naturally
is
have a
really
better reach.
he
That's a big
might.
boy. That's a
Yeah.
big boy.
They're
Yeah,
both
Miller.
big guys, so
Yeah, Slavin is one of those guys that tricks you because, for the best defenseman in the league, you would think he has a bunch of hits or even block shots, and he really
yeah.
doesn't. It's actually kind of funny when you think about it that in terms of like counting stats or fantasy point stats, he's one of the worst players in the league, and yet plays 30 minutes a night, and you wish that he could play more.
I know. Just like Slavin, he's always been very good. He was really good again tonight. That's just the normal with Slavin. He's
Yeah,
very good every night.
I think this season I was thinking about this a little bit because usually I have it hanging up, but that last podcast I actually took the Slavin jersey off of the hanger and wore it for the episode. And I thought to myself, this is my favorite player. I think because of the injury, because of just how good he's been for so long, I think we all maybe not to anything to do with him. Maybe we took for granted Slave in a little bit because of how well this team played without him. Now, I don't think any of us forgot about him. Don't get it twisted. We would all go to bat for Jacob Slavin.
Oh yeah,
Still the most underrated player in the league, probably. But now that seems like he's healthy, knock on wood, the games are mattering. He's able to commit 110% to what he's doing. That's the best shutdown defenseman in the NHL.
oh, it definitely is. Not even close to who number 2 is, in my opinion.
I agree.
But Carolina, they're up 3-0, and in the third period, we saw a little bit already of it in the second period. Like you saw that scary incident with Fetch. Obviously, thank goodness he is okay. Because when he held on to where his knee was, I was like, oh no, I wonder if I had to do something with his knee. But it was actually the slash. That's what it was.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. And the initial angle that you saw on TV where his leg was kind of like sticking out a little bit, that's what really spooked me. And then the first time I watched the replay, I was just like, that's just unfortunate because I didn't notice the slash. I was watching the two guys on the boards, and it looked like his leg just kind of fell backwards the wrong way, which that's not intentional. That happens. It is an unfortunate aspect of this game where there's ice and a firm boundary. You're going to get just guys falling, unfortunately. But it took less than 2 periods for Philly to start having moments of, well, I don't think we're going to beat these guys straight up, so we got to do something. And to just away from the puck slash a guy, I get it, it's the playoffs. Throw big hits, do scrums, maybe even challenge a guy to a fight. Don't whack a guy in the back of the knee. That's just cowardice. And
when he's already in a vulnerable spot too.
Exactly. That's just not a good play. Yeah. I don't like that at all. And I'm curious to see if I got any more responses about it when we get off here. But my comment on X about sending Jackson Blake a shower beer. I think you can't be swinging at a guy like that, Blake. I'll be the first to say that. But it was in the pad area. That might have been a light bruise. That's nothing compared to hacking at a part of the body that's not particularly padded, where there's all kinds of tendons and ligaments and stuff like that. It's not the same thing. That was dirty.
Oh, it definitely was. And in the third period, it really got ramped up. It really did. Now, I wouldn't say it was at the point where it was like Ottawa level in game 4. That was berserk. But it got a little dirty because Philadelphia was getting frustrated and all. And obviously, I mean, you had the whole Blake incident there. What was it? Blake slashed first from what I saw, and then you had Zegras coming retaliating twice with
Mhm.
one an elbow to the head and then a cross check when he's already down. Now, here's what's interesting from the officiating. They started to give red flags to everybody. That was
Mhm.
the first time I've seen that in this Hurricanes playoff run. So I was like, wow, okay. So Blake goes for misconduct as well. Like I understood Zegras. I really did understood Zegras getting a misconduct, but Blake too, that shocked me, Andrew.
Yeah, I think that was a little bit of them having to learn from what happened in Game 4 against Ottawa. I think uh, Greg Jackson, I think his name is. Sorry, I'm Dave Jackson, the official commentator,
Mhm.
mentioned that sometimes in Game 1 you do kind of want to set a standard, and there's no secret to what Philly's going to want to do in this series. And you saw a little bit of it as the game went on, especially when it became very obvious that Carolina is just a step faster. And I think that's when you started to see Philly start making some of those plays. Now, in regards to the Zegras Blake incident, it looked like they were tangled up. Who knows? Words might have been said. Maybe there was something we didn't see. Blake, you can't do that. I'm not going to clutch my pearls because that's how Philly wants to play. So if you're going to dish it out, you can take it. You know, Zegras maybe you could have grabbed the stick and whacked yourself in the face with it like your boy did there. And I didn't mind the first retaliation. Yeah, it's an elbow to the head, but it's a baseball swing, like give and take. Okay, offsetting, but the cross check to the back when he's already down, again, just dirty kind of chicken shitty plays by Philly.
Yeah, honestly, see, I didn't like either penalty, especially the elbow to the head, just because, like, dude, you played hockey, you know how sensitive the head is when it it gets into a physical contact when it, basically that type of area of hockey of just being physical with the head. Like, just don't
Mhm.
do that, you know? Like that's my biggest thing.
I,
You should
I
know that.
I agree, but I feel the same way about taking full on swings with the stick. So that's why I think those two being matching, I'm okay
I
with
do
it.
agree. Yeah, I do agree
Yeah.
on that.
Now, would I rather get whacked with a hockey stick or get elbowed in the face with with a full pad? I'll take the stick whack every time. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to excuse what he did, but um, if you're gonna dish it out, take it. And I'm gonna say that about our guys the same way that I'm gonna say it about Philly and the way that this game went. Anybody dressed in orange crying about anything that any Hurricanes player did tonight, give me a break.
Oh yeah, definitely. And you also had some conversation between Konechny and Hall in the midst of all of that, and both of them go for roughing. I mean, to be honest, I was fine with that. Like both of
Mhm.
them going, I'm really am fine. I have no beef with the officials for that. Another penalty too. This was back, I think, in the first period. Probably one of the worst calls I've seen is the whole high stick
Mhm.
when I can't remember which Philadelphia player it was. The name is blanking on me, but he grabs Martinuk's stick. Boom. I'm like, dude, you call that a penalty? Seriously?
Yeah. I mean,
Oh God.
that's a great sell job. I'll give credit. I'll give credit where it's
It
due,
is.
and because it
It
didn't
is.
bite us. But that's impressive that you pulled that off.
A I give you an AF for selling it. Regardless, though, that's the official's problem.
Yeah, and so here's the thing about that, and this is what players need to keep in mind because it reminds me kind of what I was talking about in the last game with Ottawa, where there was that penalty that Kachuk did against Fetch that I thought was kind of questionable, but because we know how these NHL officials work, is that there's a level of keeping it even that they try to do. They try to manage the game a little bit, and I think when you do something like that, period ends, these guys are going back to their locker room and they find out about this. And refs don't like it when you make them look like fools, that they don't like that. So when that happens, that's when you see that slashing penalty that Philly took in the second. That I thought, by letter of the law, yeah, slash. I can't remember who was on, but it was pretty soft for playoffs, and I'll admit that. But when you
And the cross
bring
check to Fetch too. That was soft.
Yeah, there were a couple of soft calls. I wasn't crazy about the one on Riley, but that being said, I thought that it was dumb of him to hit up that high to begin with, so you can't put
Yes, I
yourself in that
agree.
position.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But just to finish the thought, when you do kind of sell jobs like that, and the refs find out about it, they're going to do something to even it up, and that's why I think that slashing penalty was called. And if Philly wants to make the same mistake that Ottawa did, in particular Brady Kachuk and
Mm-hmm.
Ridley Gregg, by all means, I will trade special teams chances with that team every day.
Oh yeah, I would too. And I'm glad you brought up special teams. I mean, when it came to the Hurricanes power play, we'll start with the power play first.
Mm-hmm.
The first one I thought was the best power play that the Hurricanes had. After that, it just trailed off into nothing less, I thought. But honestly, like you want the power play to be good for the Canes. Like you want them to convert. But at the
Mm-hmm.
same time, I look at this Philly team and I'm just like, if you just don't lose on special teams, I think Carolina will be fine in the series. I just do for some reason.
Yeah, I mean, if you gave me a choice of having a top-notch power play or a top-notch penalty kill, I'll take the penalty kill,
Yeah, same here.
especially when I like their chances 5-on-5 as strongly as I do in this series. That being said, I think the movement up high on the power play has been good. Like, center to center, blue line to blue line, getting it down to the bumper. They haven't been able to do those seam passes, especially Ehlers for whatever reason. And that's not a knock on him. I think he'll figure it out. But that it's just a touch off, in particular, setting up that final scoring chance. It seems like they're trying to do a lot of.
It's too fancy.
It's too fancy, or it's putting the puck right to the net and hoping that a guy can do some crazy, shoot the puck backhanded at like a 60-degree angle, which some of these guys can do, don't get me wrong, but it's not
Mhm.
the Ehlers seam past to Fetch that was absolutely lighting the world on fire in the regular season.
Yeah, it's too fancy, and I would argue it's also there's some lack of confidence too, just because there were a few times where I was like, especially with like Ehlers. Like, here's the thing, Ehlers, I think he still played a great game today.
Uh-huh.
He still played great, but when it comes to the power play, there are a few instances, and it wasn't just Ehlers, so I'm not just banking on him. Where I'm just like, if you had a confident pass, you could probably pass for the one timer where Svetch is. And
Mm.
that could probably get you a bit of a goal. But I never saw that huge cross the ice pass with them. So it just seems like they're a little bit timid.
A little bit. I think whether it's on the power play or whether it's 5-on-5, I think you're going to see something happen whenever that top line manages to break through. I
Oh
really
yeah.
do. They have
Yeah.
been so snake bitten, and in this game, I thought they actually looked pretty good. Spetch had a couple moments where I really liked that, even though he didn't need to do a whole lot of extracurriculars. There were some moments where you saw people going in for Aho, and Spetch just kind of slid in and just like almost quietly was like, "No, that's not what's happening," and I love that
Hmm.
from him. Um, but I think that line just needs one to go. I don't care which one of them it is. They
I
need
agree.
one to go, and I think all three of them are going to exhale because they're all just gripping the stick a little tightly. That being said, defensively, excellent. Keep it up, boys.
Oh yeah. At one point they had more shots on the penalty kill than Philadelphia did.
Hmm.
If you remember that whole Ha-Ho Jarvis sequence, Jarvis, I believe, hit the crossbar.
Hmm. Yep, they're not playing bad. They're just snake bitten, and I get it. People see the lack of goals, they see the numbers, and they go, "Oh, it's where's Jarvis? What's happening?" Um,
I thought
that
Jarvis played
that
pretty good
second
today.
Stankoven goal, that was Jarvis that created that play with the
It
forecheck and then a
was.
great pass. So welcome to these playoffs, Seth. Um, but I I don't see a whole lot to complain about with this team. I think the power play, it hasn't been converting, but I see that I see what they need to fix. And I do think it is those three guys just needing to just break through so they can exhale. And with that talent that they're going to.
Oh yeah, especially against a team like Philly. I just can't. I'm not trying to sound cocky. It's just I don't see Philadelphia matching the speed that
Mhm.
Carolina brings. And it's because I didn't see it tonight. Really didn't.
Right.
So, one thing I think there's another thing I want to talk about. Oh yeah, goaltending. So, for Vladar, he definitely needed to stop that second goal. I can tell
Hmm.
you that Blake goal he needed to stop. The first goal, that was a tip, obviously, from Stankoven. Can't blame Vladar on that one. And the third goal, that was a defensive breakdown in front of Vladar. I don't blame him on that. I mean, Vladar played solid, but he didn't really save his team at the same time.
No, but I think he did enough for if they were able to get anything consistently going the other way. I think he did enough for them to win. I think
Yeah,
there was only one
I
bad
would agree.
goal, and even the bad goal was still a great play by Blake to be able to corral that rebound. Um,
We didn't see a lot of jaw dropping saves this game.
no, but I think that works to Carolina's
It
favor.
does.
This is why people it's not boring for us because this is what we like to watch. We like to watch our guys do what they do. But this was a game where I go, okay, this is why people call this team boring. It's because when you're playing against them, there's nothing.
Yeah. And Anderson, he looked really solid. And I mean, what I said when it came to like there were no jaw dropping saves, it was like that for both goalies. Anderson didn't have to play at the level that he did in the Ottawa games. He just had to be solid this game. And that's all Carolina wanted because with him playing solid, Philadelphia wasn't going to score. They just weren't.
No, and I want to say it was prior to them pulling their goalie. Philly was at like 14 shots, with the majority of the way through the third period. So
Oh, yeah.
you don't need to make great saves if you're just not giving up shots. And Carolina, I think you saw them play, at least in terms of their system. Tonight was a perfect game. Just imagine
Yep.
if you guys can actually start converting on their chances. We're seeing this team, aside from the power play, which again we've already gone over that. I think you're seeing a lot from this team that's very encouraging. That hopefully they can continue to build on some things as the series goes along.
Oh yeah, definitely. Any more thoughts about this game, Andrew?
Uh, Only one game, so let's check ourselves a little bit here. But man, that game that felt like everything we thought was going to happen. That looked like
Yep.
Carolina. It has
That's what
should.
we wanted to happen.
Yeah, I think you stay out of the nonsense. You stick up for yourself if you
Mhm.
have to, but aside from that, just skate these guys out of the building. They can't keep up.
No, they really can't. So Hurricanes are up 1-0 in this series, one down, three more to go. Who knows? Maybe the next game Stankoven will score again. It seems like that's the running theme in this playoff run. So we'll see what happens after game two, but we will see you guys then.